Chicago Bears Now is presented by True Classic, the best, most comfortable, and best showing t-shirts on the market, polos and other things as well. Simple t-shirt here, fits great, comfortable. Go check them out, trueclassic.com/chatsports. That link gets you 25% off. We appreciate them for sponsoring today's show. Which on today's show, we're breaking down the top remaining free agents that the Bears could pursue. I doubt they'll be in on Calvin Ridley, but they obviously need some receiver help. He's still out there if you want to go that route. 1,000 yards a year ago. Obviously missed about a year and a half before that with the gambling issue, then the season before some personal stuff. Still hasn't signed as of yet. Sounds like the Patriots are in. Jacksonville trying to bring him back, but he is still out there. I think he'd be a great number 2. Just kind of comes down to price. Do you want to throw big money at a receiver of this caliber, or do you want to get a big-time receiver in the draft and go for more of a number 3 in free agency? We'll see what Ryan Poles and company feel like doing. Tyler Boyd still out there, and I think this would be the perfect number 3 receiver. That's kind of what he's morphed into the last couple of years after Cincinnati added Jamar Chase and obviously T. Higgins. We'll see what happens with Higgins moving forward. But Tyler Boyd is an excellent number 3. He's a good number 2 as well if you need him to be that. He's been a 1 and a 2 at times in his career. And selfless player has taken on a bit of a lesser role but has still been productive in doing so. Good slot receiver, can play some outside, has enough size to do that if you need him to do so. Always been a reliable pass catcher and route runner. Marquise Brown, if you want to go with more of a speed demon on the outside. After Calvin Ridley, most consider him the best receiver remaining at this point in time. He's had some drop issues, some inconsistencies in his career, but has a 1,000-yard season on his resume. Really can take the top off a defense. If you just want to go with that pure speedster on the outside, Marquise Brown is probably the best option in that regard, as he's a sub 4.4 guy and can really fly. So I'd be open to this. He wouldn't be my top guy. I think he might end up getting paid a little more than he probably should, but if the price is right, I'm definitely open to this. I'm really open to Curtis Samuel, who has been linked to the Bears at times this offseason. Obviously, former teammate of DJ Moore in Carolina. That's how you talk, Harrison. Curtis Samuel has been very consistent. Went to Washington, had a couple of good seasons there, over 600 yards. That's kind of who he's been. He's like a 600, 700-yard guy. He's always in that range. Really good number 3. He can give you some gadget stuff as well if you want to use him on jet sweeps, if you want to run him out of the backfield sometimes. He's basically just a much better Velus Jones. Velus Jones can do the gadget stuff, but he's not a good route runner and doesn't have good hands. Curtis Samuel can run routes and does have pretty good hands. You could use him as a returner if you want to as well. So I would definitely be in on him. I'll be curious to see what his market is with Darnell Mooney getting $13 million per year with the Atlanta Falcons. Does Samuel touch that number? He's a little bit older. I would think he'd be a little less, maybe in the $10, $11 million range, but we'll have to wait and see. By the way, just one other wide receiver note before we talk about some other players at different positions. The Bears were reportedly in on Gabe Davis. They made him a similar offer to what Jacksonville did. He ultimately went with Jacksonville, so I do think the Bears are actively trying to pursue a wide receiver. Now, shout out your city and let us know where you guys are watching from. Also, name a wide receiver that you want to sign. Who is a receiver that you want the Bears to go out and get? Some other guys like Josh Reynolds I'd be in on. I'm not high on DJ Chark. He seems to always be hurt, but name a receiver you want the Bears to go get right now in the comments section. I just got one tight end I'm talking about here. There's a few others I'd be interested in, but Gerald Everett I think is an interesting one. There's a Shane Waldron connection there as well, so he would know this offense. Played some good ball for the Chargers last year. He's been in Seattle and L.A. as well. All similar offenses throughout his career. Really good pass catcher. I think he'd be an ideal tight end 2 behind Cole Kmet. Blocks just well enough, but obviously can work the seam a little bit. Good check down guy, so would certainly be open to bringing him on board. Let's go to the center position. Connor Williams still out there and doesn't seem like he's going back to Miami as they signed Aaron Brewer yesterday. Obviously, he's recovering from a torn ACL, but similar offensive system, so that would be a fairly seamless transition for him. And I don't mind this either because if he's not ready week 1, you've got Ryan Bates, so he could certainly play that role. It's unclear how they view Bates. There's been some reporting that the Bears might roll with him as their starter. I would like to get someone else in here, and I don't mind the Williams combination because, again, if he's not ready week 1, well, you've got a capable fill-in guy in Ryan Bates. So we'll see how that goes. But when he played last year, he was the highest-graded center per PFF, so he was pretty damn good for Miami. Today's show is sponsored by True Classic. You can get up to 25% off right now. It's a hell of a deal at trueclassic.com/chatsports. Go check out True Classic right now. The most comfortable, best-fitting T-shirts on the market. And look, as a bigger guy whose weight fluctuates at times, sometimes T-shirts come and go for me. Sometimes they don't fit like they used to. Well, with True Classic, they fit excellent. And that's kind of their goal is they want their T-shirts to fit males of all sizes. Whether you got a six-pack or whether you got a bit of a beer gut like I do, or whether you're like Rolly and you're losing weight all the time, True Classic has you covered. It's going to show the best part of the body when you're rocking their T-shirts. They also have polos. They got shorts. They got joggers. They got hoodies. Very comfortable and very stylish as well. They keep it simple, which I like. A lot of these new companies, they're throwing crazy designs on the shirts. You don't need that. Like, look at these hoodies. Tell me you wouldn't rock one of these hoodies right now. You absolutely would. You can buy in bulk as well, which I think is awesome with True Classic. 3-pack, 6-pack, 9-packs. You get better bang for your buck. Go to trueclassic.com/chatsports. That's trueclassic.com/chatsports. Get outfitted today. Link is in the comments and in the description of this video. Shout out to True Classic for sponsoring Chicago Bears Now. Okay, another center here, Coleman Shelton, who is pretty clearly available at this point. The Rams signed 2 guards. They're going to move Steve Avila inside to center from guard, where he played as a rookie last year. So I do not expect him to go back to the Rams. So he's available. Probably wouldn't cost a ton. So he'd be a player at that center position that I think would be worth adding if I'm the Bears. I'd probably rather have Connor Williams. I think he's a better overall caliber player, but Shelton wouldn't be bad. Evan Brown kind of in a similar tier. He's probably a tick worse than Coleman Shelton, but he also would be a seamless transition fit as he was Seattle's offensive center last year under Shane Waldron. So obviously there'd be no learning pain in terms of guiding the offense if he was your center. Not a great player. He's serviceable. He's an upgrade from Lucas Patrick, but kind of not much more than that. All right, let's go back to defense, or go to defense here, I should say. Arik Armstead, who was a surprise cut from the 49ers. I think technically they still have to formally release him, but it sounds like they're going to do that before the start of the league year. He's been mostly a 3-4 defensive end, but I think at a 4-3 he could play some 3 technique. He could play some edge, especially on running down. So versatile player, still only 29 years old. He's got some injuries. He's kind of an older 29, but on a 1 or 2 year deal, I would definitely be interested. You need to add more quality defensive linemen to this defensive line group, and Arik Armstead's versatility and experience and leadership, I think, would add a lot. I mean, this is a team captain for the 49ers who was a part of 2 Super Bowl runner-up teams, so I would certainly be in on him. Maybe $15 million a year, 2 years, $30 million for Arik Armstead. I think you could do a whole lot worse than that. Hit that subscribe button. We got you covered throughout the season, the off-season, daily basis, NFL free agency. Still heating up here, so don't miss out on any of it. We'll cover you with every signing, every trade, every rumor, every other storyline going on around this team. We got you covered. It's free. Thank you for 89,000 subscribers. Let's get to 90 as soon as possible. How about DJ Reader, who's still out there? Really good run stuffer, eats up blockers. Some injury concerns there, but I think he'd be a fun fit here. Now, obviously, the Bears extended Andrew Billings last year, who's been that nose tackle. Reader's more of a 1-tech than a 3-tech. But DJ Reader is a guy that I think would be worth adding to this team. How about Danielle Hunter here? Danielle Hunter, who kind of entered free agency as the top edge after Brian Burns and Josh Allen were franchise tagged. Obviously, Burns got traded and signed a new deal with New York yesterday. Hunter's still out there. I'm a little surprised that he is not signed at this point in time, but he is very productive. He's going to be 30 years old, so I think there's probably a battle for him. Like, he wants top dollar, but he's got some injury history, and he's going to be 30 next season. I'd be in if I was the Bears if it was under $25 million. Like, 3 years, 75, 3-year 72, something like that. I think I would be willing to pay that at this point. Again, you need another dude on that defensive line, and Danielle Hunter is pretty damn good. Knows the NFC North, obviously. Minnesota's not going to bring him back, I don't think, after they paid Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard yesterday. So he's kind of the top overall free agent out there. We'll see if the Bears get in on him. What do you think? Should the Bears sign Danielle Hunter? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section right now. Y for yes or in for no when it comes to Danielle Hunter. If you want to go with kind of a flyer, probably a one-year deal guy, Josh Uche is a good speed rusher. Didn't have a great year last year. Some injury concerns here as well. He was really good in 2022, though. I think he had, what was it, Rolly, 11 sacks? 2022, something like that, 11 and a half. That sack production kind of went away last year. On his rookie deal, 4 years, he had one really good season and 3 kind of underwhelming. So I think this is a one-year flyer. Maybe it's like 1 year, $10 million with 6 guaranteed. Maybe something similar to what Yannick Ngakoue got last year. But he'd give you some speed coming off the edge. I wouldn't hate throwing a flyer at this guy. Kind of similar realm, but a little more skins on the wall. I'd say Chase Young, a more capable player certainly, but inconsistent motor. Wasn't great after getting traded from Washington to San Francisco. I thought he was good in the Super Bowl. He was horrific in the NFC Championship game. The guy is loafing on plays. The motor's the question there. He obviously has some injury history as well, but I think he's going to have to sign a one-year deal to kind of prove that he's worthy of a long-term deal in 2025 and beyond. If the market dries up a bit and he doesn't cost a ton, you could talk me into it. But there are questions there. I'm a little higher on Jadeveon Clowney than others are. He had his best year ever as a pass rusher, 9.5 sacks. His pass rush win rate was good. Now, he was playing next to dogs in Baltimore. I think that plays a role. But I still think Clowney's a starting caliber player. I mean, wherever he's playing, he seems to produce. He's excellent against the run every year. I thought he had one of his best years, like I said, as a pass rusher last year, arguably his best. And he's still out there. So I would be interested. He's usually a player that waits, but maybe he signs and gets a Leonard Floyd type of deal, 2 years, $20 million, or gets a Zadarius Smith type of deal, 2 year, $23, I think is what he got in Cleveland. So, I would give him in that $10 to $12 million range on a 1 or 2 year deal if he was interested in coming here. All right, there you have it. Some of the top remaining free agents available. There's tons of others still out there as well, but these are guys that caught my attention. If you want more Bears content on a daily basis throughout free agency, hit that subscribe button. We're currently live right now, so come check out our live stream if you're not watching this video live, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.